I think having a background in sales is critical for anyone in any aspect of the business. I think for me, I have sales underneath my umbrella, and I always tell my people it's great to learn across the entire organization. If you learn everything, every aspect from the heart of the business and operations, customer success, about the products, I think you can really talk about it externally without it seeming like it's sales. And so just from your background, what did you learn in sales that you think is a really big tip or trick that you could teach anyone coming out of sales?
For sure. I mean, I think I have a handful of tips for that. So one, with the sales background, I was not shy to talk to customers. So day zero, I was talking to customers and prospects. And I think at times, maybe there's some founders who are a little bit more reserved and really like, hey, let me build this thing for the next 2 years, then I'll talk to customers. And so, I think as a salesperson, I was not scared to sell, the product day zero. And so I think that helped. We really quickly got customers early on. And we really got customer validation early on too, because we knew how to talk to customers. And so that was, I think, one of the big areas. Two is like when you're in sales, you really are kind of like a problem solver. I think, you really want to do discovery questions. You're really trying to, ask and uncover things with your prospect of like, what are the pain points? How does the solution that I want to sell you, is it the right solution for you? So how do I really match up what I know about you and what I know about our product to see if there's a fit? And so I think salespeople are really good at problem solving, and that helped me early on of really, questioning things, asking right questions. And it gives you a really inquisitive, curious mindset. And I think the best salespeople are very curious. And that really tends to lead well in early days. Well, as a curious entrepreneur, you really want to like learn and ask the questions across the entire company. And I think the third thing is really recruiting. So I think at the end of the day, we've got about 400 employees now, and the vast majority of those I was interviewing. I probably reached out to thousands of candidates in my time of being a CEO and co-founder here. So recruiting is, sales in itself, and that you're going to reach out. You've got to sell the company, not the product. You've got to, almost have like good organizational skills for, the pipeline of who you've talked to, and then, getting them across the finish line to sign, and then also taking no for an answer. I think as a salesperson, you get a lot of no's. You're happy when you get a yes, but if you get a candidate that says no, you can't go, cry and say, hey, I'm done. I'm never going to do this again. You've got to be a little bit, hard skinned there. And I think that gave me a good background for that too.
I started originally in recruitment. I think it really translates. You're absolutely right. When you can talk about it that way, when you're selling the employment or the employer brand instead, I run strategy now, but if I'm selling a deal, it is harder to solve someone's problem. I get more frustrated if I'm trying to recruit someone who I know is going to be amazing, and then they say no versus closing a deal.
I know.
Why aren't you on board with this?
Come on.
I have more sensitivity on my rejection on that side than the other. You've had experiences at all these other companies. How did that idea come about? What were you doing at that time? Where did it come from? And then at what point did you know, like, wow, I'm really onto something, to know that you wanted to really build that out?
Yeah. So I'll give you the backstory. So when I was at TalkDesk, which was the company I was at right before starting Sendoso, I was selling, call center software. And it was there as, I was always kind of a more creative salesperson. My entrepreneur background gave me a little bit more of an edge to want to think differently already. So as a salesperson, I was always doing kind of quirky things. And, I found myself, going to Starbucks and buying Starbucks gift cards and mailing them out to prospects. I'd find myself, going into our swag closet when marketing wasn't looking and grabbing things to mail to prospects, and hopefully not getting in trouble because they were always like, a little bit, guarding that for themselves, so to speak. So I found myself doing that. I'd even, buy gifts off of Amazon at times and send it out. And it worked really well. And I was like, hey, this is really good. But, I'm spending hours packing boxes and, I'd have to like go and copy paste, the FedEx link and keep clicking it to see if it was actually delivered. And there's just like little annoying things like that, made me realize like, dang, why isn't there like a platform I could just like click a button and send something? And so I kind of was like, maybe I could build that. That sounds good. But then I immediately thought, wow, warehousing, logistics, shipping, no way. I don't know what that is. And so I said, hey, well, what's the easiest thing I could send? And so I said, hey, these gift cards that I'm sending for Starbucks work really well. Maybe I just send a digital gift card through Salesforce. And so I was like, yeah, I'll build that. And so I ultimately, spent a weekend drawing up kind of the idea for the different screens of the Salesforce app and the website. And then I took those pictures and put it up onto Upwork, and I found someone on Upwork that was going to build me my version 1 for $5,000. And it was called Coffee Sender. It was, basic. It was sending a Starbucks gift card to somebody, but it had a couple more bells and whistles to it. It gave me a read receipt when someone used it. It gave me, it had teams so that people could have a central credit card. It was embedded in Salesforce. So every time you click send, it tagged to a Salesforce campaign. So, marketing would actually allow me to expense report those because they could track it. And so it was simple in the nature, but it was kind of a taste, almost like an appetizer of what Sendoso could be. And so it was, you could say it was maybe the MVP of what Sendoso ended up becoming. And so that got started, and, it was a side project. It was meant to make some beer money and kind of solve my problem a little bit in terms of a creative, different way than just sending a gazillion emails, which is what I was doing. And so that started to take off. And after, a couple 100,000 in sales, my co-founder, Braden, was, at the time I started myself, and then Braden was a salesperson that started using it and was like, this is awesome. I want to join this company. I'm like, man, I'm just making beer money on the side. It's not really a company. And so he ended up joining the company and started selling it. And we got a few 100,000 more in sales. And then it was about that time where it was like, well, all their customers kept asking, so easy to send coffee. Why can't I send other things like gifts and stuff? And I was like, okay, I'm having this problem. I know it's real. All these customers want this. Let's figure it out. And so then it was just enough momentum and confidence with Coffee Sender that I said, okay, I quit my job, and then spent the next 9 months figuring out logistics and warehousing infrastructure. And so and then basically rebuilt Coffee Sender, or basically kind of kicked Coffee Sender to the curb, let it kind of run itself for a minute, and then rebuild Sendoso from the ground up.